Hey, friend, welcome back to Anchored with Purpose. I'm so glad you're here today. In this episode, we're going to be super practical and talk about something that I love: time management and planning. But we're not talking about just time management with that rigid hustle culture kind of way. I'm talking about planning your days with intention, joy, and faith. And if you've ever felt like your calendar is running you, or that you have no idea what's going on from one minute to the next, this episode is here to help you. So grab your planner, whether it's paper or digital, grab your favorite colorful pens and highlighters, maybe even a little washi tape if you're feeling fancy, and let's dive in. Okay, so where are my planner peeps out there? If you're like me, you love a good planner. Now, I've been using planners since sometime in middle school, and I have tried them all. And listen, it doesn't matter which one you use, you just have to use what works for you. Now, I am someone who, I love getting out my planner, getting out my colorful pens, planning out my week, my day, even my month. But some of you, that might seem a little bit scary. We're going to break down how to make this super simple for you and fun. I have to start out, though, with this little statistic. Did you know that people who plan their days are 20 to 30% more productive than those that don't? Friend, would you like to be a little more productive and feel a little bit less like a chicken with your head cut off? Me too. This is why it's so important. And really, it's not just about getting more done, it's about living more intentionally. You know, I love to live life with intention. So, when we plan our time, we're actually stewarding one of the most precious resources that God has given us. Time is one thing we can't make more of. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. So, when we use it wisely, we're honoring God and making space for what matters most. I want to share with you this verse from Ephesians 5:15 and 16. And I'm going to share it with you first, and then I'm going to tell you how I use this in my life. So be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Now, I like to use this when I am praying over time management because, yes, I am someone who struggles with time management. So, therefore, I spend a little bit more effort into planning. And this verse just reminds us to live thoughtfully and not reactively. And planning helps us to do just that. So let's take you behind the scenes a little bit. I shared that I've been using planners since middle school. I love them. They help me feel so organized, give me a fresh planner, some colorful pens, a little washi tape, and maybe some stickers. And I'm one happy girl. I've got friends who sometimes, Jeff would come home from work laughing at us because we'd be in the kitchen, planners open, washi tape, colored pencils, pens, highlighters everywhere, having a blast. And he would laugh and, make fun of us. And he would say, you know what, though? I guess there's worse hobbies than planning. And yes, there are. And yes, maybe my washi tape collection is a little big. Anyone else have, I don't know, at least 100 rolls of washi tape? All right, that might be excessive, but let's talk a little bit how I like to plan. So first, I work on an annual plan. So I have one of those big dry erase calendars. Now, the idea of just like a monthly dry erase calendar, having to update that every single month, completely overwhelmed me. So if that overwhelmed you, don't worry, friend, I have you covered. I love the big 12-month dry erase calendar. I have it in the butler's pantry in my house. And every few months, I pull that down off the wall, I put it on the dining room table, and I plan the next quarter. So now we can see the whole year at a glance. So now that we just finished the first quarter of 2025, now I'm able to go back, erase those months, and now put those months in for 2026. So what I love about this is it allows us to really see the entire year and what's going on. And in this, I've got birthdays, school time, like when school starts, when it ends, school vacation days. I've got when people are visiting and when we're going out of town. And this helps the kids too, because they like to be able to see, like, oh, this is when Nana and Papa are coming, or, oh, okay, this is when we're going to Pennsylvania next. So, and it also helps Jeff because he likes to be able to know how many days he needs to take off and put those in for work. So it helps him to be able to take a look at this one big planner, and it helps us kind of see as a family, all right, could we sneak in a Penn State trip this year? Like, what does the rest of this look like? So I use that that's like our big, like bird's eye view of our schedule. So the next thing that I do is I use my digital calendar. So everything I have for work is in Google Calendar. All of the boys' sports stuff is in Google Calendar for, we've got lacrosse and baseball right now. It's a busy time of year. Thankfully, all of those games are color coded by kid in my Google Calendar. And that also connects to my Apple Calendar, which I love. It gives me all of my calendars all in one. And then I can take that and put it into my paper planner. Now, I put some of the more high level things into my monthly overview. And I'm talking things like birthdays, anniversaries, if we're going out of town, school days off. That way I can kind of see that high level overview of just the month. And then I put that into my weekly spread as well. And this helps me to get super intentional about how I'm managing my time. So I start by filling everything in. So I'm putting in every work meeting I have, every practice the kids have, every game the kids have. I then go in and I like to use different color pens for everybody. So, we're a walking school district. So when I'm walking Sean to and from school, I like to put that in there. So that shows me, oh, this is not productive time now to be working on anything. So I block that off in my calendar. And then that kind of helps me to see, okay, between this line and this line is when I am doing work. Then my work meetings are in there. And then where I've got white space within that work day, then that's when I can start planning, okay, well, this is when I'm going to work on this task or that task. And it just helps me to be super productive. Now, this also helps me to see where I can fit in workouts and my faith time. So that daily faith practice is always in the very beginning of my day, followed by my workout. So those are in that digital calendar as non-negotiables. They happen. And I encourage you, put those in there as recurring events too. And then you don't even have to think about it. Then if you are using a paper planner, you can put that in. Now, same thing if you've got like doctor's appointments and dentist appointments, all of those appointments, they all are in your calendar too. And then they can get put into your planner. Now, something I have to share with you, I love a good 15-minute segment calendar. I'm talking like the weekly spread needs to show me a full column for one day, and then the day broken down in 15-minute increments. This helps me see exactly how much time something is going to take. And I love this. So when I have a meeting, I write it in, and usually I will write in either black or blue, and then I outline what that is. Like, so if it's a work meeting, that gets highlighted or outlined in one color. And then like my kids' sports stuff, they each have their own colors. For myself, I have multiple colors because I like to differentiate between what is for work, what is for my business, what is for my health, what am I doing for fun? And that helps me to see like where I'm spending my time. And that's such an eye opener for me. If I see that I don't have, so I like to use like a bright color for myself when it's for my workouts and for my health. If I see that there's not a lot of that in there, I can see where I'm not spending my time that week. So it helps to put that in there. And then what else I love is that you can leave some room for margin too. So, friend, it is so important to have that margin time just for you. So, there's little things that need to be done, but I encourage you, give yourself some white space within your calendar. And here's something that's cool too. So, when you plan your time in advance, you're going to help reduce decision fatigue. Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? That is that mental exhaustion that we feel when we've got too many choices throughout the day. So, Stanford University actually did some research on this, and they've shared that our brains can only handle so many decisions a day before our willpower starts to drop. But when you've already mapped out your day with blocks of time, so remember, you're putting in all of those non negotiable appointments first, and then you're building in those chunks of time. So, for example, if I know I'm working on a podcast, I know about how much time that will take me. I can block that time off in my calendar, and then that's there. I already know that that's what I'm doing during that time. And here's another fun fact. Planning actually boosts dopamine. And we know that dopamine is that brain's feel good chemical. So, because you're setting goals and checking things off, this is a tiny hit of motivation that helps build momentum. So, yep, even writing down what you're going to do during that time and checking it off gives your brain that happy little time. And I'd rather get a dopamine hit from planning than doom scrolling any day. So, friend, if you want to know a little bit more about planning, I'm just going to share book an Anchored Insights call with me. I would love to chat with you about how you can plan. This is something that I do in my coaching, and I would love to help you with this. In fact, all of my coaching clients are getting the Anchored with Purpose planner that is coming out later in 2025. So be on the lookout. So, friend, if this was helpful to you, I just ask, share this with a friend. I hope you have a great day. And remember, stay anchored with purpose.